Here we are, punters, back for part two. Now, on last week's show, I just talked a little bit about the difficulty of the overall times at Flemington last week because of the way the track dried there from the irrigation, and it was it looked on paper, if you just look at the raw times, that they were going slow early tempos and coming home quick, but the leaders were fatiguing a lot. It was really tricky, and I think you had to go a step beyond just the raw times.
Yeah.
You had to get into it a bit more. There was subtleties there that would have sent the speed rating models into a bit of meltdown. So, and it's something that happens regularly, and you've noticed.
And in the countries, like because they're racing on a different track every day.
Yeah.
And there's all the different intricacies of all the different tracks, especially the ones with short straights, like Moe's and Taturas and things like that. But particularly, I found that the last Tatura meeting, there's one today. The prior one, there was some of the maiden races were very, very low overall times, except for Snogging, but Snogging like ran 10 lengths quicker than one of the other maidens, but there's been 3 winners come out of the one with the slow time. And even on the fast meeting at Benalla that day, they prepared to win Villamont and all those nice sorts of Valac and whatnot. There was a slow, there was a slow pace anchor drop race with Remember Thy Name.
Yeah.
If you compare the overall times, you'll do at a low figure, but a horse like Savaheed's come out and won the Hill Smith Stakes on Saturday out of the race. He had to sort of push that race up. So I think that you've got to be very careful about defining a race on the time and time and sections alone. Really, I mean, you can delve right into the sections, but there's a lot of mid-race anchor drops which contribute to it. There's the track condition, especially in the maidens and the early races. There's first use is a big factor, late use is a big factor. Seymour at the moment's chopping up with a lot of kickback. I mean, there's just so many different things. So if it looks too low, the raw rating, it is. Yeah. You know, so that's the first thing I can say.
Yeah.
But you really have to delve into the subtleties. Yeah, you're right. I've had to do that. But I've done my arse out of that Tatura meeting. That's the only reason I'm saying it's one of the things I learned. So I've just haven't had those. I'll just have to learn. There's another meeting on today. I'm really going to learn that when I rate this Tatura meeting, it's going to be a bit different to how I rated the last one.
Yeah. So I think the overall time's a great starting point. Then you come back to the sectionals. You start with the bigger sectionals, so 800 metres and 600, and work your way down. They'll all give you clues. But at the end of the day, if something looks out of place, if it doesn't fit with the rest of the meeting or the rest of the horses in that race, there's probably a reason. You'll have to look into it and try and figure out why. Yeah. It's like one horse in a race might improve 5 lengths or go backwards 5 lengths or whatever, but 6 of them won't.
No, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And the other thing is margins. Yeah. You know, margins is pretty solid. I think the computer models like margins. Yeah. I don't think with a race with good margins and slow time doesn't really add up. No. You know? I mean, something's been suited like and others haven't. Yeah, like that Tatua one yesterday. I know I was a leader at Cranbourne. It was going. I had the race going ordinary. Pachuca came out of. Yeah. And I had to significantly improve to win yesterday. But there's margins. The margins were like 2 lengths by 2 lengths. And then I've got that too low, you know? I think I've got it too low.
As an example, on Saturday at Caulfield, you got the 3 1600 metre races. And also, Toastum Stardom's 135.88. Mighty Boss's 136.10. So, you know, a length and a half overall slower. And Aloysius 136.30. So, again, another length and a half, again, slower than Mighty Boss. But Aloysius run by far the best late sectionals. So for the punters to figure out where those races fit, they're going to have to delve right into it. You know what I mean? Because on face value, I would say Aloysius probably gone better than all the colts in the guineas. Yeah, well, that's right. That's what I try and line up. I say, so for all those, if there's 2 divisions and there's that much difference with them, I say, okay, put them together. If in that race, if Aloysius was in the males race, or how would Aloysius go against Toast and Stardom? You know, would Toast and Stardom tower up? You know, I just try and think about that, and you know, that saves you having them too high or too low as well. Yeah, definitely. It's a real puzzle, that one. I need to think about it a lot before I get to my final position, and then I'll continue to review it as the horses come out of those races to try and work it out. Because she's probably been allowed to perform that well because she got a nice ground-saving run, but she's had no platform at all to do that off. None. Up off a 1200 metre race where she never got in the clear ground. So she's either extremely talented, like really talented, and she's going to be unbeatable in the fillies races,
Well,
all the circumstances have just allowed her to do that.
And that's going to be interesting because Ralph tweeted out this morning on his post race as how they're going to get near her again. But if you might be able to find some subtleties that say, okay, she possibly might be vulnerable at short odds with all these people. Everyone's going to be all over her next time off those facts and figures. But it might have been PR and all this sort of business, you know. So
yeah, no, it's a real puzzle, and it's not like the raw times are only an indication, and then the sectionals give you more clues, but the actual answer is not going to be apparent till we're through the spring.
Yeah.
So it's a great subject, and we could talk about it endlessly, to be honest.
And that's a lot of the Jelko theory. Is it real?
Yeah.
That's the first thing the computer asks. It's just, and you see them always come off things with big spikes and things like that because they're saying, well, don't really believe it, you know, or if you do, you won't be doing that again. That was, it's interesting.
It sure is. Now, I bet neither you or I never had a bet in the Everest DK, but what did you make of it all in the end?
What did I make of it all? I was, it was a Group 1 sprint race. A bit of same prize money. It was all the good horses going around. Well, I think it was. I mean, they were blowing about the track and things like that. But Vega Magic was the run of the century, and from what I saw, and Fit Forward.
Honestly, if that wasn't a $10 million race, and you just watched that.
Was it
when he slaughtered it, didn't he?
Slaughtered it, yeah. Oh, no, he did. He's David Hayes and David. He didn't show any.
He must have. I mean, I've only watched it once. I haven't gone back and really pulled it apart. But he must have. He must have. He just hit the panic button at the wrong time. Like he could have kept going forward, and he might have been caught a bit wide, which doesn't really matter at round week from the 1200 metre shoot. But he's blinked. He's blinked and gone, I'll restrain here, and then it's just it was an absolute disaster. Like, how often do you see a horse DK go forward, be sort of after 200 metres in an up and off position, and restrain and actually get in and get a nice run? Does it ever happen? You mentioned one last week, the young boy, Poi or whatever.
Oh, in Poi, yeah.
He just went, well, I'll cop my medicine here, I'll sit out here.
Just sit out here, yeah.
And the horse was too good.
That's it.
There you
and
go.
Vega Magic would have done the same thing.
Absolutely.
It's a superstar, that horse. I mean, anyway, but no, it was Kieran on fire. Someone said to me he's the best, most informed jockey in the country at the moment, Kieran. I don't know. You back to your self-interest in the Cranbourne Cup and whatnot. So
I mean, that was a magnificent ride. That was seriously.
That's what
I mean, that's the problem. They can all ride good and bad. You know what I mean? Like,
they can. So,
you just never. In the minute as we know, the minute you pot one, they'll ride 3 minutes in a row and they'll beat you in their photo, and you'll be just like, why do they say anything?
Yeah. No, curable that.
That's what it was.
Anyway, it was a good. I don't know. But it's,
my observations of it were that I mean, I was was a bit whatever for me when they first did it, but I have to say it was a raging success. I've not looked into the mathematics at all of all the slot owners and the prize money and everything else, but it's not all the money provided for the 10 million's not coming from the
the
slot owners. The club's still putting in 3 million or whatever, so there's money there to be shared by them. So.
Well, they marketed. They just went full bore with the marketing and everything with the full. Because everyone was behind. Valandis was driving big, so they had all the support of the government and Racing New South Wales or whatever, and media and everything. So they really pushed it there. So good. I mean, it was a Group 1 sprint race for $1 million any other day, but it was a slot race for 10 million. So.
But it got to a crowd outside of racing, which I think is really good. So in the end, you've got to give them a big pat on the back. And Sydney's always been Melbourne's poor cousin because the big Sydney carnivals in the autumn when they're competing with the other sports. Whereas the spring gets a free run of it.
Yeah.
And Sydney took their opportunity in spring here, and I think they did something really well for a change. I mean, to me, they've all but, well, they've certainly diminished the Golden Slipper, and they've diminished the Doncaster. It's nowhere near the carnival it used to be.
They've come something else up.
So but here's the case where, and like the Queen Elizabeth thing's been a bit. The championships has been a bit neither here nor there, really. But in this case, it seems like it was a raging success.
And I'm tipping the figures. I mean, people would have been reinvested. They're betting on the Everest, and they're betting on the Guineas, and they're betting on, I mean, apart from the good jockeys, some good jockeys up there. We've got plenty of good jocks down here. D Lane, and who was riding the winners down there? Trumpy and Zara and everything. We're still superstar jockeys down here. So, good for the sport, mate.
That's it.